Good morning and welcome in everyone. Before we get into this morning's update, I would like to go over a quick synopsis of what is transpiring throughout the crypto market. Right now, XRP has bounced off of the pennant flag support at right around $1.98, $2, and as we can see is up 4.12% on the day. This is why it's very dangerous to sell XRP inside the pennant flag. I've been asked over and over and over again, if I were to sell XRP, when would I sell it? And I said, if you sell it inside of this pennant flag, it's dangerous. And until that pennant flag breaks down, this is still a bullish consolidation. Despite what we might see in some of the indicators, there's no reason to offload until this gets invalidated. And right now we're trying to invalidate what looks like a looming death cross. We know we have 1 billion being released from escrow today, so it should be pretty tomorrow. But it's pretty interesting this time around because we have New Year's Eve right now in the USA. At 12 a.m., it's going to be New Year's Day. So are we going to get any kind of tax harvesting here? I don't know. But what is nice to see, at least this morning, is the fact we're bouncing off the pennant flag. We still have to invalidate this structure. We've come across the 200 days so far, which is at $2.09. We're up at like $2.14 so far this morning. So that's a great sign, at least reversing off of the lows. I've been asked so many times in at least the last week when I would suggest to sell XRP. And like, as long as the pennant flag is formed, you can't sell it. You have to hold it. Even if you're looking to get some kind of profit because you're afraid it's going to fall down into those lower lows, that's not a guarantee. As long as it's in the pennant flag, we're fine. I'm going to stop focusing so much on the rest of crypto because I think it confuses everybody, and focus on XRP and Bitcoin here and see exactly what we have to do to continue this bullish push here on New Year's Eve. And yeah, does it make me nervous in the mornings around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 a.m. On the West Coast? We talk about it every day when people wake up in the United States. We have volatility, and we need to see if it plays true. But right now, we bounce off of $2. So as bearish as we might feel when we look at certain setups with Bitcoin with the rising broadening wedge and different pattern formations, the broadening wedge hasn't given way yet. When we came back up at a rejection point after coming down to 91,300, the good news is we got over that 1,600 point push, or $1,600 push, and then we use it as a layer of support. Now, and by no means am I saying we're out of the woods, because we're not. Right now, we're trying to break past the 200-day, which we're technically, this is a perfect spot if we're looking to get a rejection or reversal. We won't know. We got to get back over 96,000 for Bitcoin. And once it gets over 96,000, let's say this rising broadening wedge plays out 100% entirely, it's bearish, but it plays within. And these are scenarios we talk about. What if the rising broadening wedge, it bounces off of and then it plays out just to play down later? So it could absolutely do that and not invalidate the rising broadening wedge. These are things we have to pay attention to if it's going to break out. Now, if it's going to break down, this support structure here at 92,700 is going to just give way again. We've got a little bit of room here, though. Actually, it's about 92,900. We've got a tiny bit of room here this morning. Am I optimistic yet? No. Am I happier that it's not breaking down XRP's pennant flag? As I said yesterday, it's better for me if we go up from a standpoint of not just positivity through the community, but just more people will be interested. However, the more people we see getting that negativity towards crypto, to the better. The more people we see just calling it over. You know, we have to watch the proper fundamentals. All we're doing right now is we're alerting ourselves to the possibility that if this falls out, we have to be wise on where to go. Yesterday, because we were down at the $2 level, we had to talk more bearish. Because if it broke down, we knew the ramifications. We knew it could come all the way to $1.05. And by no means am I saying we're out of the woods yet. I just feel a little bit better today than I did yesterday because we're on top of this 4-hour, 200-day. Now, do I expect it to just rally out of here unabated? Probably not. But it is a good sign to start here that at least we've bounced off of that lower level. Yeah, we're at the 200-day in the smaller time frames right now, so we're going to have to see how we react. But as of right now, we could have went one of two ways last night. And fortunately, right now, we're at least taking the up route in this current moment. And yes, we're going to have to watch this as the day goes on, but there's a very clear and precise reason why I say do not sell XRP unless it breaks the pennant flag, if you're even looking to sell it. Because if it holds the pennant flag, this is a very bullish consolidation, and a lot of people are going to end up preemptively selling. I'll be the first to warn everybody about what's going on, but at the same time, don't prematurely sell. Don't prematurely unload things that you don't want to get rid of. The only things that I've unloaded are things that weren't meant to be carried around long term. That's it. So, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out today. I know we have a couple of, like a devil's advocate kind of thing. The fact that we have the 1 billion dumping from escrow, but we see this every single month. Bitcoin, yes, we have a rising broadening wedge, but until it breaks, it means we can play within the broadening wedge, the rising broadening wedge. Even if it's a bearish consolidation, until that breaks down, we still can have positivity. It's just we have to be on higher alert. That's all. That's all. And a lot of people are asking the right questions in comments. Do I sell it now? No. Not until the pennant flag breaks down if you're going to sell it all. I'm not willing to just offload my XRP yet. Not yet. Not yet. It's going to have to prove to me why I have to get rid of it. And right now it's bouncing off the pennant flag. So as of right now, we're okay. Now, we'll see how the day plays out. We'll see if Bitcoin can continue this upward momentum. We'll see if XRP can continue this upward volatility. But we do know what omniances are today. We deal with it every single month. So we'll see if this ends up being a positive or a negative spin here. Sometimes on the escrow dump, we end up pumping, consolidating, and then pushing out. Sometimes we end up dumping just to pump after the escrow pushes out. And today, right now, the escrow is after midnight tonight, and we're up 4%. Now, are we up 4%, or are we just where we were at yesterday or the day before? Well, you know, that leaves it up for interpretation. Like, you can look at it the positive or negative way. We came down from $2.30, rolled back up to $2.23, came down to $1.98. Now we've rolled back up to $2.14. Now can we push out? Can we grab some momentum here and push out? Let's see the volume. That's a big thing for me. Where's the volume at today? Ooh. Not really any volume today, but that's okay. It's New Year's Eve. So we have a thinly traded market. Oof. We really want to see some more volume than that, though. That's okay. At least we bounced off of the pennant flag support. That is something. So let me do the intro. But that's the information that I wanted to get out before I got myself, caught up with what I'm trying to say, or, people are leaving the update because not many people are going to want to sit through 20 minutes, and I understand that. So I tried to get all that information out. So don't feel like it's the world's caving in yet. Don't feel like it's all falling in yet. We haven't broke down and got the validation for the complete breakdown. Yes, I understand we have downside liquidity on Bitcoin when it comes to the heat signature maps, but we also have topside liquidity as well. Not as much as to the downside at the nearer terms, but as of right now, Bitcoin's up 3.3%. Let's let it work. I keep telling everybody, don't force it down, but if it comes down, be prepared. You don't ever want to force it down. I mean, in reality, we still want it to go up. We still hold. We have our XRP until that pennant flag breaks, and then you can make an educated and informed decision. But these are those inside of these moments now. These are the big moments going forward. And yeah, because of it being New Year's Eve, because I know of tax harvesting, because I know that the escrow dump is tomorrow, I watch with it more of a bias. But until it forces me to make a decision, I am more than happy just sitting here and watching and waiting. In fact, this is the argument of why when you buy at 35 cents, you can sit through the up and down, left and right until it forces you. This is a long-term proposition with XRP. We weren't ready for this to end in 2024. In fact, my big moment isn't even until 2028. But how fast it ran through, it makes you start to look at some of the possibilities. Like, is the possibility here? Are we going to rally out all the way to $2.50? I would love to see that. Is it going to happen? I don't know. We do need to continue pushing with some power here because we're going to get that back test. You're just not going to break from $2 and not at least hit somewhere on this push up. This is going to be our biggest moment right now. This first backtrack. The first backtrack we have. Are we going to stay above 209? If we stay above 209, and we might not even come down that far. I'm saying if we stay above 209, that's our first sign that maybe, just maybe, we're trying to reverse out of here. Now, with the volume portfolio, I would still be careful because we haven't had a spike of volume at all on this push up. We do have a golden cross in the 15, so in the immediate short term, we're trying to reverse our fate. 45-minute, we're just coming up to the 200-day, which is typical if we're coming up for a rejection. But this is just the start because we very well could be trying to push up to show what kind of, testicular fortitude we have here in crypto, and XRP in particular. So our first big test is to hold 211. And then where we talked about on the 4-hourly, you're going to want to make sure that that 209 is a layer of support. Even right here at 210.40, if we come back down, if we hold this, we can see a little bit of a reversal pattern. It's just we're kind of stuck in the area of where the death cross is trying to get validated. So this is your one chance right now to push out, change our course of time here, and just continue some positive momentum. Let's see if we can continue some positive momentum going into the new year. There's nothing wrong with having some positivity going into the new year. So good morning, 9:31 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, December 31st, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So after this update, I got to get to the gym. My son's got his therapy today at noon, so I'm kind of running on it. It's going to take me about 45 minutes to an hour in the gym, 20 minutes to walk there, 20 minutes to walk back. So it'll put me right in the perfect spot here for when we go to his food therapy here at noon. So that's going to be interesting. But right now, if you're chasing, just understand what you're looking at right now. If you're buying right now, why didn't you buy it at the $2 uptrend or the $1.98 or better yet at 45 cents? So it's got to be, are you buying because of FOMO, or is this a good spot for you personally? You think it's a good spot to buy? If it is, take a shot. But if you're only buying because of FOMO, then you got to start looking at all the fundamentals. And right now, waking up, yeah, it looked great. I think it was up 4.4% when we were looking just now. Well, I mean, it's not quite at 214 still, but we've seen it together go up to 214.3, so it's not like it's that far off. It's 1 cent. But it was up as high as about 4.4%. Bitcoin's up $3,000, or 3.27%, up to 95,797. A big moment's happening right now as we speak. We get up over 95,800 and hold it. We can start to try to reverse our course here. Ooh, fuck. Of course, Bitcoin would come up that far at the end. At first, it was a perfect long leg doji on Bitcoin. I mean, it's getting to that point where if we can stay finessed in here like this, not bad. Maybe we could have a daily reversal and then start to boom starting the new year. We don't want to lose the rising broadening wedge, which we're still within. We've come back up to the 20-day in the daily, which is a rejection area until we can break past it. Still on the bottom side of the 200-day in the 3-hourly. 4-hourly is coming up for that 4-hour rejection. If it were to get rejected, I'm not saying it's coming up there. Let me rephrase that. If it comes up here and gets rejected, this would be the confirmation on a death cross. So that's why it's so important right now. So important for us to either break out of this or just do what it needs to do and do its business. Because if this is a rejection, you'll simply see it throughout the day start to fade. If this is something more, we would see it throughout the day come up and try to retest that 97K area. And then if it can get past there, then we could be in some business here. We could be in business. But just, you always got to remember when it's coming from the downside, we've got to invalidate now these resistance points instead of hitting it at a support structure. So now all we're doing is we're trying to take care of some business here. That's it. So don't force it down. If you're getting some positivity here today, don't demand it to come down. Just watch it. If it comes down and it's meant to come down, let it happen. We've talked the last several weeks. If this rising, or the last week and a half, if this rising broadening wedge is meant to break down, it'll happen. But we're not begging it. Remember, we're still looking for this bull market to continue with the least route of resistance. It's just, we know once you break down certain areas, you usually will have to break down certain fundamentals now. So XRP hasn't got there yet. We never broke the pennant flag. This pennant flag is still intact. It's the reason why I said I will not sell these tokens or even come to any kind of decision, because I'm not planning on selling what I have right now in XRP. Unless it were to force me, slap me in the face and say, all right, dummy, this pennant flag is broken down. You know the fundamentals in front of you. Don't get caught up with the hogwash until it's reality. And that's the hardest part right now, because I enjoy holding what I have. I don't want to sell it. You know, so that's the problem here. Just because I see something in the charts doesn't mean it's going to play out. And just because we see these death crosses and the omnions, it doesn't mean it has to play out. But we also have to have that caution. And I'm very cautious. I'd rather have these warnings out here and them never come true than not show you them at all. That's my reality. I need to let myself and my audience know the potential here. Now, I would expect it to backtest 94,000. If it doesn't, it's a rather quick run up for not having a backtest. But hey, it is what it is. We're coming to that zone now in the morning where everybody's starting to wake up in the USA. This is where we should get some kind of fundamental either consolidation here, or everybody's going to wake up and say, you know, it's New Year's Eve. I don't care about the escrow drop. Let's start to pump into XRP. Or we're going to get a lot of false hope here waking up. And in the same amount of time Bitcoin went up 4,000 points almost, is the exact same amount of time it's going to take to come back down, which is not a lot. We came up to the death cross resistance right now. How did it come back? I thought I just seen it at 96. Sorry, I talked too much. Yeah, it was at 96,100 just a second ago. So I would fully anticipate it to come down here and retest that area. But remember, these short-term moves don't mean anything yet. The longer-term nuance here is, are we going to crack over the 200-day and invalidate the death cross that is already, well, it's been confirmed, but it doesn't mean that it's, all right, so we have a death cross, but it hasn't been confirmed. So to confirm it, you would need to get a rejection at the 200-day, which is where we're at, and then come back through the 20-day and reverse this candle. Now, if we came up here to 96,000 to get a rejection, and throughout the day you see it reverse and we end up below 92,800, look out below. That's all I'm going to say. Same thing with XRP. If we came back from $1.98, just to further validate a death cross possibility here as it's looming, and if we came up here for a rejection, and then you see us sometime today below $2.02, look out below. So we're basically on that shot here. Is this going to take us up and out, or is this just an exhaustion phase? Is this just enough to try to convince some to get in, and then it's just going to rotate back down? Personally, with all the indicators we're seeing, it would lean towards probably the breakdown. But you can start the reverse course here now, because we did hold the pennant flag support. And now if we come down here to 208 and hold, now for the first time you can start saying, you know, Tom, as bearish as we might have felt yesterday, at least we held the pennant flag. And now we've come up and we've reversed the 15-minute. We back tested 208. And now we're back up to like 215 and we're starting to push out. That's what I'm trying to look for here today, so that we can see some kind of confirmation that maybe we can push out today. Maybe we can start having that reverse course. But we've also been in this position many, many times where we've seen these things happen. We get that minor push out to get a little bit of false hope, and then it just breaks back through a couple hours later. So we're still looking at the fact that people can tax harvest. We're still looking at the fact that we have the escrow dump at 12 a.m., at least on the 1st. So that's only, you know, 14 hours and 20 minutes away from that. So it's going to be a very volatile day. So pay attention. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. I'm going to leave it here. I tried to do the best I could at explaining this. Don't force it bearish until the time is there. If you're afraid of holding XRP, you better damn well make sure that pennant flag breaks. I've been very clear with that. No matter how bearish we might feel, let it play out. Let the pattern force you out. I understand Bitcoin's dropped 900 points here just now in the last like 7 minutes. But this is what happens if we're going up to either try to confirm a resistance on a death cross, or we're trying to reverse our fate and try to push up and out. So pay attention. Make sure to hit that like button. Share this on social media. Join the over 30,300 subscribers. It would be very appreciative, or I'd appreciate it greatly. If you're looking to trade crypto and you're like, just in case it drops, I want to get myself set up, or I want to make sure where to go to have the best opportunity, BITUNIX is my favorite. Lowest spot and leverage trading fees. They have the lowest maker-taker as well. So yeah, take advantage of that. They've got XRP and many, many others. You don't need a VPN or KYC unless you want to. HOTCOIN has VELO, IOTA, XDC, ES. It's got so many different ones that we can't find on most of the exchanges in the USA. Crypto.com is where I have my Visa debit card, so you can do up to 25 grand that you can just load onto it from crypto. And then if you have it in USD, it's backed up to 250K. So if you got a lot of funds to deal with and maybe you're not even in the market and you want to put it somewhere where there's FDIC backing, that's an option. PayPal, Cash App, Venmo if you want to send a donation, or you can send a YouTube super chat or join Tom's Army. But really, I just want you to listen. I hope, for our sake, we don't have to take too deep of a deviation, but at the same time, we got to let this work out. We've got to be transparent with ourselves, and we can't let emotions dictate what's going to happen. So let's just sit there. We've had XRP for quite some time. Let's see if this plays in our favor, and watch $2.08 if it does have the back test of a little bit of a bullish golden cross in the 15. And other than that, as long as we hold the pennant flag, which sits at about $2.02 right now, we're in good shape. And if Bitcoin can get over 96,200 and start pushing, that's good shape for Bitcoin. Right now, it's at that bearish rejection on the death cross for Bitcoin. So we've got to make sure we're paying attention to every single signal we get here today, because it's going to be very critical going into the new year.